for you. Whatever you need, we're here to serve for the next 16 minutes before I jump on a podcast with Dr. Terry. So the first person to unmute wins. Go ahead. We love questions. First. There you go, Mark. Welcome, brother.
Well, a while ago, Sandra was sharing about looking for funds, right? So I think I have the same situation like her. So I'm doing this for part-time. I'm also finishing my thesis on school. And so what I am asking is, I'm a C. So C is more of like a fearful one compared to D though. So sometimes you will have to work with different personalities and um you will almost what I do, you'll almost have yourself stuck there in the middle of like trying to really take that risk or going back again to the comfort zone. Especially here now that we're learning about real estate and you want to go to real estate as well and replicate all these things. So and my question here is though, and when do you leverage yourself from here? Here, this is my personality. This is what I can do. But I am seeing these people, and I want to be like them. So how do we prepare in this
Let's give Mark a round of applause. It's a great question. So to frame the question is, if I'm a C and I'm looking at my C self, but I want to operate like a D in this moment, or I want to operate like an I in this moment, or I want to operate like an S. And I see that those are going to be more valuable to get the job done that I'm looking to accomplish. It may help you, Mark, to know that I was a C. So I started why else would I read 350 books? Why else would I pay for all these courses? Why else would I travel all across the country to get information? It was because I wanted to learn. I love information. I love systems. And so it came from a C space. The speaking was learned. The speaking was education. The sales, my ability to flow in between a conversation was learned. I desired to learn it. And because I was a C, I mastered it. I really wanted to do it really, really well. So I went out and I practiced it. And I practiced where nobody could see first. And then once I felt pretty confident, I went out and I started practicing in public. And that became, I started one of my easiest ways to practice sales. Who would like to know a quick, easy way to practice sales if you're uncomfortable talking to people? Go out and hit on the opposite spouse, opposite gender, right? If you're a guy, go hit on women. If you're a woman, go in, hit on guys. And literally do it in places that it would not be acceptable, right? Like level up the game as you go. And if you're single, if you're not single, then go and try to sell something to somebody. That's just a high pressure situation.
If I may jump in on that, really what he's talking about is go practice the skills, and it's 100%. If you're a single guy, go practice with girls, but go practice with guys too. Use this material. One of the things that is really kind of special about how I show up on a profile is I don't research it that much. I hear about it and I go do it. And I go do it terribly. And then I try again. And then I try again. And then I try again. And so the big thing for me, and I show up as a DI, and I don't necessarily agree with that, and I don't disagree with it. It just is, right? And I've manipulated the thing and come out different ways, and I still end up showing up the same damn way. And so the reality is we all show up a certain way. We all have a tendency towards the different behaviors. Doug is a little more outgoing. He's a little more connected to people. I'm a little bit more results oriented. I want to get to points. I want to have the information quickly. Some might call it irritable. Walter wants all of the information, and then he uses all of that information in a way and compiles it. We all have different ways, but we all have a very, very strong DI piece to us. When I first met Walter, I used to joke with him a lot, and then I actually proved it to him too, that he has a very strong C center to him. But he is so practiced being what an I would look like, or being what a D would look like. And this is one of the things that Walter and I and Doug and the other coaches talk about is go practice those things that you're uncomfortable with in those environments that isn't so important necessarily. But the more you go practice, the better you get at it. Practice makes, as Doug says, permanent. And so the reality is when we go, well, I'm a C, so I can't do that, you just allowed yourself to make an excuse. You just allowed yourself to step back. You just allowed yourself to settle. And so do you want to settle? Do you want to be just that? Or do you want to be the so much more you know you are? And that's where we want to step out. Sorry.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause.
I just want to quickly add something that Terry said that was profound for everyone in here is our identity. If we say I am a, whatever we put after that, we're locking ourselves into that whatever, that identity. So we want to be very careful about that dialogue that we have going on. It's not that you are a C, it's that you may tend to implement C behaviors more often than others, which means you can now bring in other behaviors because you are, in fact, a human being. You are a spiritual being. You are a flexible person. You're a creative person. You're a driven person. You're a motivated person. You're an inspired person. You're not a letter. You're not a C. You just may display, and your home may currently be, as Terry shared earlier, your center may be that, but the truth is we are all of it. So it's what you'll find is as you start practicing, as you start chipping away, it'll become more natural for you and not so locked into it. That's the point of all these trainings is behavioral flexibility.
I think that I'm going to go to the pickup world for just a second because it is the biggest. It's the biggest social experiment there is. Because basically, if anybody understands pickup or doesn't understand pickup, it's basically guys learning how to be able to influence and date women in a way that's not completely awkward. Okay? Because guys, no matter how good they are if they have natural game or they have no game, they're all awkward, especially when we start liking somebody, because the moment we start liking somebody or want to get to know someone better, the more our head starts talking to us about how it's not going to work, how they're not going to like us, how this, that, and the other thing, and then we're fighting against ourselves to have that. And so the social experiment was basically, how do us awkward guys be able to influence women to talk to us? That's all pickup is all about. And then the ego gets involved of the guy that gets kind of good at it, and then they start hurting people with it. And so that's why there's the downside to game or pickup. But the reality is it's a big social experiment about how to get out of your own way, your own ego, which is what I talk about in Quick Taking Your Own Bad Advice, because our head is going to give us a message of run, get out of the way, freeze, don't say anything. If you close your eyes, they won't see you. And all of those different things that we do in situations that trigger us. And so the social experiment was, how do we get out of our own way? And the people who gravitated most to pickup were the C's of the world that didn't know how to get out of their analyzing kind of experience to be themselves, to show up, to get results, to put themselves out there. And so the C's of the world actually learned how to systematically go out and leave themselves behind for a minute so they could connect with other people. And that's one of the reasons that I loved The Game as the book, Neil Strauss, and Neil Strauss is very, very articulate at how this stuff works.
Terry, I wish I stopped at one book. I've probably read 24 books on pickup.
Right, right, and the fact of the matter is if you just read Neil Strauss, and I mean it's a crazy ass book and a crazy ass story. It's very interesting, but the overall message is you do not have to be the way you think you are. You can step beyond that and become somebody who you want to be when you allow yourself to experiment, to explore, and to experience yourself in a different way. And that's really what Doug is going to be teaching on the 10th. It's what we teach in generator coaching every time you work with us, is how to be the person you want to be instead of the person you think you are.
And it's what we're teaching on our mission to build 100
Absolutely.
millionaires. You are a millionaire builder. The name of the website is I Build Millionaires. That's for you. It's not for me. My job is just to inspire you. You're the one who's got to go out there and build the millionaires. I'll show you how I did it. I'll give you the tools. I'll give you the resources. But at this point, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Now I just have to inspire you to teach you how to go out and do it as well. The C's in the world, man, once you figure it out, you're going to be unstoppable. That's the truth. Once you get a system behind it, it's so easy. And we were talking about pickup a lot. It's the same thing when you start talking to those rich people, right? When you talk to somebody who's a millionaire or a multimillionaire or a decamillionaire, somebody who's got $100 million in assets, all the same thoughts come into your head. None of them are real. I have had these conversations. I have spoken to these people. They're really cool people. In fact, I was on the phone with a billionaire the other day. I've spoken to 2 billionaires in my life. We were on a conversation, and guess what? He drives a fancier car. He has a bigger house. He has more assets, but he puts his shoes on the same way I do. We were talking about the same exact problems that we have in our lives. He's got this, having the same issue, trying to get on Facebook Reels, which I knew how to do. Does that make sense? Right? Billionaires can have the same problems as millionaires. They're no different from us. So don't feel any way other than I'm just going to find out what they want. Here's the only thing you could ever do right in this world. The one thing you could do right, ask somebody what they want. Doug gave it to us earlier, right? This is the secret to really building relationships. What are you looking for? With no intention of anything beyond that. With just listening and not even trying to serve in the moment, just listening to see what might come in, what you may be able to do for somebody later, right? Just that open, hey, what are you looking for? Right? Interesting. Okay, cool. Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to store that down somewhere. At some point, I'm going to find a way to serve you without any pressure, because the pressure comes when you're trying to get something from them. When you're Indiana Jones. Remember Indiana Jones on Temple of Doom? Who remembers that? We've seen that one. Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. He has the golden idol he's looking to try to grab, and he has the bag of sand, and he's gauging the idol, and he's like taking some sand out, and he's weighing it, and he says, "Okay, now I'm gonna switch these." He's sweating it, and he messed up, and it was the wrong amount, and darts start flying at him, and it's a movie, right? But he was sweating that little transition, and really being intentional about it. You don't have to be. Just have conversations. Just find out what somebody's looking for. And Mark, you're on track, man. You're in the right place. You're doing the right things. You couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to get to where you want to go. What is your degree in? What are you looking to do in school?
Yeah, I'm finishing education studies. But aside from that, I've already invested in stock market, like really fundamental and technical analysis. So
Let's give Mark a round of applause. He's already investing. Look at that. Awesome, brother. Glad to have you on the team. Want to open up other questions? Questions, comments, concerns, ahas, ideas? You got about 4 minutes.
Hello.
Hello.
Notice how it's starting to get dark here. So I guess my big thing is I feel like I have certain systems in place. I have the information. I know what I need to do. But when you have like a big sales goal, because I used to do this when I sold knives, as you remember, Walter.
Yep.
So I just have a big sales goals for the next 10 days. And I mean, I think my biggest thing is recommendations and kind of promotion. What would be your
What is your big sales goal?
$5,000? There's not much.
$5,000 in the next 10 days.
Yeah, well, actually no, 5,000 euros. So 5,006, let's say $6,050 roughly.
Okay. $6,000 in the next 10 days. Do you believe you're going to do it?
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily believe. I know it's not about a belief. It's like I have it's just like kind of like to do what I want to do and to continue moving forward. It's just that's what's going to happen.
What sacrifices would you have to make if you don't do it?
Semester in school. So that's really not an option. It's not about sacrifice. It's a sacrifice is just kind of social life to call and collect, I guess.
So, well, one thing I would get rid of is the size of the goal, right? $6,000 in 10 days is not a big goal. That is just money. Like, it's just, like whenever you think something is big, that already puts it out into the future. That puts it out as hard. That puts it out as difficult. That puts it as something that would not be easy to attain. So, like, don't poison yourself with extra work, mental work. Instead, small goal, easy, $6,000. I'm going to do it today, right? Just do it.
Yeah.
Just pick up the phone and call until you get the person who's ready to pay $6,000. Find out what they're willing to pay $6,000 for and do it. Right, Sandra, are you tired? Are you hungry?
No.
Then pick up the phone, right? Like, find out who has something. And if you do get tired and you get hungry, don't listen to it. Your body doesn't actually need food right now. Your body doesn't actually need sleep. Just go do it. Just go pick up the phone. Start calling. Like, you don't like I don't know if you have the insanity that I have. Right, there's a little insanity. I will not stop until it's done, until the result is done. So you let yourself sleep when you haven't earned sleep yet, right?
I do that with sculpture. Like, I can do that very easily with art. I think with sales, it's like I can still do that. I have done that. I've made a lot of phone calls and done all that jazz. I think it's just more like the contacts or like like for me, I mean, this is the high D in me, but it's like I want to go directly to the source of who are the exact people I'm going to talk to, that when I have a conversation with them, they're either going to bring me leads or going to.
But you haven't built the relationships to earn that right. You haven't built the relationships, the deep enough relationships to know what everybody wants, to have that nice, easy life that I have. I go so deep with so many people that if I want money, I know who to contact. I know what they're going to ask me for. I know what their situation is, because I take the time throughout the year to go deep with people so that if I'm in a situation where I need something, I know who to ask. And I know what I'm going to transfer in exchange. I know what they're looking for when I speak with them, because I've gone deep. You haven't earned that. That's why you don't have it. But if you go deep with enough people, you're going to find, it's very easy to make money, Sandra. Make big commitments to people who have money, like who have an excess of money and who lack something that you create. So go ahead, Terry. I saw you dying. You're like, I got to say something.
So one of the big things that we all do, and I'm guilty of it myself, and I actually have a mentor who used to talk about it in one of his talks, that he's got a $3,000 problem. It's a $3,000 problem, and we were talking about this earlier. This is not a $3,000 problem. This is a relationship issue and a resource issue, because the relationships and the resources are what provides the financial answer, so to speak. And so we sit there and focus on, well, I just need $6,000. I just need 10 grand. I just need this. I just need $50. You don't need that. You need the constant, continuous communication with your group of people, whether it's an email list, a Facebook group, and it doesn't have to be yours, but it has to be where you're active, and you continue to be active, you continue to be showing up and letting them know what you have and asking them what they have, asking them what they're looking for. And Doug was saying this before. It's about the communication, because everything is solved in the connection and in the service. And so there are people here that like art. There are people who know people that like art. There are people who really would, if they saw your stuff continually and had hearing you talk about why you're making the different pieces and what went into this and where it came from inside of you, they'd be like, wow, that's kind of cool. I have the money to spend on that. I want it.
And Terry, you brought something up for me. Like, as you said that, there are people who like art. Sandra, I got to ask, as an entrepreneur, why do you not spend every day, every minute of your day with people who like buying art? I don't understand. Like, I'm a real estate educator, right? I'm a trainer of real estate. The only people I know buy real estate. I spend no time with anybody who doesn't. All of my friends are buyers of education and buyers of real estate. And that's the only people I know in my life. I just seeked them out. I went on the hunt of people who buy the thing I sell. That's it. And every one of my team members here, Mark, Arnie, like all of these guys and gals, and Diana, like all their job is to seek out real estate investors, people who would invest in real estate, who are in real estate groups, who are looking to learn more. They seek them out and they find out what they're looking for. That's their only job, is to learn, to ask. So like, if you're saying, I don't know who to call, who doesn't buy my art, I don't understand. Like, I'm having a real issue understanding how you haven't spent your whole, like, why would you be in something that people aren't telling you they want from you? Like, why would you be in a trade or doing something that people aren't begging you for? Go ahead, Terry.
And I don't have an issue understanding that.
I'm dying, Terry. Help me out.
I gotta mute you, Alicia, because your child is just so fun and exciting. But I gotta take care of it. Super cute, super cute. But I don't have an issue with that, because we all do that. Is my problem is tattooed on my eyeball. It's all I can see. And then in the other eyeball, what my passion is and what I'm focused on, and what we forget is that we have to actually forget about the problem and forget about what our passion is, because we're going to do our passion anyway. There is no way that Walter's going to stop talking to people about real estate. There's no way that me or Doug is going to stop talking to people about personal growth, personal development, professional development, or business growth. It's what we do. But when I only focus on that, I don't get my message out, and so people don't know to tune into me. And this is what's happening with you, is you either focus on your art or you focus on your problem, but you don't focus on sharing your art. And you've been doing it a lot better than you had even 6 months ago.
I see you on Instagram. Doing amazing.
Now it's time to crank it up, and it's time to put out there, and even on Instagram or Instagram TV or Facebook Live, walk through what you're doing and how you're doing it. And you've done some time-lapse videos that are freaking awesome. Take the time-lapse and explain what you're doing as you do it. Explain where it's coming from. Give us that piece of you that captures our interest. We all want a TV show. Nobody wants to watch TV. Nobody wants to admit it anyway. But the fact of the matter is, we all like fascinating. We all like interesting. We all like drama. Although we want to say we don't have any drama. Everybody that says they don't want drama in their life is creating it as they go. But the fact of the matter is, we all like it. And so if you show and you tell, remember show and tell back in kindergarten, first grade? If you show and you tell, you will sell. And so start doing more of that on your Facebook group and your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed.
And then also brilliant from everybody is Walter, you were kind of sharing as well, and Terry, is where are those art lovers? Where do they hang out? How can you infiltrate that ecosystem and just be in it? and just be available. You know, are where you are at, are there art galleries? Are there those places where that's where those people hang, and you just go kind of hang out there? I mean, my biggest
And that's the thing is it's not always about just hanging out there. It's partially to being able to speak the language.
right, while you're in there, that's where you get the language. That's where you pick up even more kind of what is going on. It's, you know, the all boats rise and fall with the tide. All, you know, how did Darina learn English?
She knew English before she came to the States.
She grew up in Russia, Sandra. They don't come out of the womb speaking English. She had to learn it.
All right. Well, thank you for that information. It's helpful.
And you know, Sandra, you've already gone to some of these places and you've already put the things online. And then here's what we all do. Okay, I've done that and it hasn't gotten me the money that I'm now a millionaire. So I need to go find a new tactic. I need to go find a new program. I need to find a new strategy. I need to find a new group. That's what, you know what? Really, I need a whole new, I just need to start over.
I mean, that's not what I'm saying though. Like, I think like I understand what I need to do. Like that's not the problem. It's just like that's not, I'm not concerned about what I have to do. It's more that it's just like, it can feel overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I'm still doing it. Like I'm, you know, I've produced $4,100 in 2.5 months from people just sending me money for my artwork.
Awesome.
Okay, so now
without necessarily expecting like a commission, like a finished art piece like that
right.
I can do, but it's more the like it's still kind of hand to mouth kind of and I'm still, you know, budgeting. I'm still putting things in buckets. I still have like 10% that I'm, you know, investing or whatever, but it's still like at a point where it's not like I miss my savings. Like I used to have a savings,
right.
and that
And
was
and
really nice.
here's the thing. When we're sitting there thinking about missing our savings or missing what we used to have, missing the family that we were making money from, when we're sitting there missing, you know, for me, when I'm missing the fact that I used to go to a prison and sit there and mess with people, like messing with Sasquatch, having a good time doing stuff and getting a $8,000 or $10,000 paycheck a month, I missed that, and now I have to actually work for my money in a different way than I was before. I miss those old ways of doing it because those old ways are comfortable. I knew how to do that. This I don't necessarily know how to do. And so what we're really actually experiencing is the fear of doing something new, missing the old, and then we're focusing behind us rather than what's ahead of us. And this is something that all of us do. I'm really good at it. I've practiced this a lot. I miss a lot of stuff behind me, and then I miss what's in front of me because I'm sitting there focused on what I'm missing. And I don't know if anybody caught that. That was a joke. But it's a bad joke, I guess, because nobody laughed. Anyway, the whole idea is when you start to be intentional and focus on what's in front of you instead of what you used to have, and go, okay, I made $4,000 doing this strategy. Maybe I can make 6. Maybe I can make it quicker. Maybe if I just double down on what I was doing before, I'll see more results. Maybe if I go about the same strategy in a different way, maybe if I schedule it like we were talking about over the private chat, maybe if I schedule my time to do that, maybe if I walk people through what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, I'll do that show and tell thing, and then people will be more and more interested and bring more people to see me, and then do it. You're going to see results. Keep going. This is the time you keep going instead of change up.
Yeah. One more, and I'll make this the last one. Was this valuable for everybody on the call? Awesome. Excellent. So we're going to jump off because I do have to jump on a podcast with Dr. Terry Wager. But Sandra, if I could leave you with one piece, there is somebody out there who buys dozens, hundreds, thousands of pieces of art every single day. Why are you not in their rotation? That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
Ask you, like, go and get in the rotation of somebody who is a hyper buyer of art. They sell it to other people. Like, their job is to acquire. Like, why are you not going and finding those people and just building a list of shit they want you to do? Like, just go to them and be like, I do this and this. What do you want? And let them send you a list of projects they're working on. There's somebody with a back order. There's somebody with a backlog. Go ahead, Alicia.
Can I just ask, Sandra, are you on Instagram or TikTok?
Oh yeah,
The videos that Terry is talking about belong on TikTok and Instagram. That's where everybody's
she's
looking.
doing that.
She's very good
You're
at it.
doing
Marketing is not the only way to make money. Like, and this is
No.
something I actually wanted to say earlier, Alicia. So I'm glad you brought it up. Marketing is slow money. It's long-term future money. Sales, relationships, that's today money. So if you need to make money in the next 10 days, marketing is not going to do it for you, right? Like, it took me half a decade to get to where I'm at, and it's my marketing. The Facebook is still a slow trickle of where our income comes from. Our money comes from reaching out to people, from contacting people, from saying things. So Sandra, just a reminder, the marketing is not what makes the money. It's the direct sales, it's the conversations, it's the relationships. More of those. And there is one person out there who can solve all your financial problems because they have a list of things that need to get done. Just like in this training company, when we first started, there was one guy who bought all the tickets to one of our events. Mind blowing. One guy and bought tickets for all of his real estate agents for our first event. Remember that, Ron? I'm still friends with him. Can't think of his name right now, but but he bought 10 tickets and he filled the room for us. There was, I think, 30 people showed up, but 10 of those people were from one guy, Brian. He owns One Worcester Homes, Brian Carpenter, right? And he has over 100 and something agents now. But that one person was the only relationship I needed to fill a room. Does that make sense? Whereas, like, normally I'd have to go and sell one ticket per person and work with 10, 20, 100 people to finally get 10 people in a room. One guy was like full swing. So there's somebody out there, one person who's benefits from having you do a lot of work for them.
Well,
That's
Go ahead. I guess my thing I'll say is, if anybody has any people that are art investors or buyers, or wants to become a patron, if you feel to reach out to me or join my email list. But yeah, I mean, I agree with the direct sales and picking up the phone. So,
They might not even become a patron.
What is the easiest way to get in touch with you, Sandra? How do I find out about you? Where is your stuff?
Put it in the chat.
I will put it in the chat.
There you
Sandra
go. Put it in the
Sproy
Facebook
Studios.
page.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, was this valuable? A lot of information.
One final thing. She is fabulous. She's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah.
And she does paintings. She does sculpture now. And she's perfecting her sculpture, whatever perfection is. But the reality is 100% get out there and share yourself. And this goes for wholesalers too. It's the same thing.
Same concept. This goes for everybody. Anybody who wants more money, all the money you want's in the hands of somebody else. That's all it is. All the money you're looking for, it's in the hands of somebody else. I've done transactions where I made 150,000 or 200,000 or 250,000 from one person. Right. So, like, those are the deals I'd rather do. I'd rather spend more time doing those deals. If I'm in a money situation, I'm just going to go do a big deal. But if I need fast money, like, I just call somebody who's sitting on $5,000-$10,000. And if I needed that quick money, no big deal. One conversation, one call. There's people right now who are begging me to take them on as coaching students, and I'm letting them know I'm not taking anybody on right now. That's me saying later, not now, but later. Let's wait. Let's hang out. Because I've spent the time building that relationship and letting them know that I had something that they wanted. I don't have the time to go and reclaim that at the moment. Does that make sense? More people, more contacts, more communication, more finding out what they're looking for, build what they're looking for. And man, Money is so easy. There's so much of it out there. So freaking much. They're printing more of it anyway. They just keep
We're in
making
the
more of it.
biggest. We're in the biggest wealth exchange
It's
in history.
insane. Money is
It's the biggest.
flowing like I've never seen it like this. It was never this easy. But like now, like you could become a millionaire from one transaction, one deal, one conversation. It's so easy right now.
NFTs.
Yeah, like that's just one of many, right? You're an artist.
Yeah.
Blow up some NFTs, right? Like it's just there's so many freaking
Absolutely.
ways.
Yeah. Thank you.
The problem is not focusing on one. Pick one that is likely to work and just do one and just stay in the lane. Don't get distracted. Like one thing, do it well. We agree one thing. We're going to do one thing until we're rich. Yes. Do one thing, scale it up, keep doing more of it, hire people to support you, buy systems, hire systems to support you, keep scaling the one thing, keep doing it until rich. It's really hard. It's really hard not to get rich if you do that. Like you'd have to literally die before you finished. Like that's the only way to stop a system like that where you're constantly improving. So ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful weekend. Happy New Year. Welcome to the new year. 2022 is going to be absolutely insane for this community. Each one of you is on track to build and continue to grow your wealth and double your income. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.
With the best.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And Melissa, I knew you had a question. I knew you were going to say something. I was just, we had to handle Sandra today.
First, safe New Year, everyone. Let's rock this.
Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.
Happy
Dr.
New Year,
Terry,
guys.
you and me, let's do this.